Coming up on KGN Caribbean News. A year after a man's death in Barbados prison, his family is still searching for answers. Stay tuned to learn more. Tragedy strikes as a 9-year-old girl found dead in a barrel in Jamaica. Stay with us for the latest details. Jamaican surveillance system gets a major upgrade. What this means for tracking crime and securing communities next. That and more straight ahead on KGN Caribbean News. Welcome to KGN Caribbean News. I'm Karisha Graham. Our top stories this week. Almost a year has passed since Kimo Grant died behind bars in Barbados, and his family is still searching for the truth. His body remains at the morgue as loved ones push for answers about what caused his death. They say the autopsy results are being kept from them and attempts to bring in forensic experts were turned down. Now they're questioning why that same expert was cleared to work on a separate high profile case abroad. With so many questions left unanswered, the family is refusing to lay him to rest until they get clarity. In a case that has shocked Jamaica, 9-year-old Kelsey Ferrigon's life was tragically cut short after her body was discovered inside a barrel at her home in Spanish Town. Authorities are now searching for Giovanni Ellis, a man they have identified as a person of interest in the young girl's death. The community is in mourning and a reward of 2 million Jamaican dollars has been offered for information that leads to his arrest. As the investigation unfolds, Kelsey's family is left devastated and the nation is demanding justice for this senseless crime. The investigation into the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young remains ongoing, with many questions still unanswered. While authorities have ruled drowning as the cause of death, both the family and the public continue to question this conclusion, citing visible injuries on her body. In light of these concerns, the family has called off her funeral to allow more time for the search for answers. As the investigation continues, calls for justice and accountability grow louder, with the nation demanding clarity and transparency in this tragic case. The search is still on in Barbados for 26-year-old Kishan Lamar Anderson Thomas, who escaped custody 1 week ago. Thomas fled while receiving medical treatment at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and investigators believe he may have stolen a vehicle during his getaway. He is described as 6 feet tall with several tattoos, including loyalty on his forearm and OTF on his bicep. Police are urging anyone with information to come forward and warning that helping a fugitive is a criminal offense. Barbadian Member of Parliament Neil Rule has been found not guilty of rape, bringing an end to a high profile case that played out over the past month. A 9 member jury returned the verdict last week following hours of deliberation and weeks of testimony in the island's Supreme Court. Rowe was accused of sexually assaulting a woman at his Christchurch residence back in 2022, but has always maintained his innocence. Now clear of the charge, Rowe says he gives God thanks for giving him strength throughout this process. Gunfire, hunger, and fear are gripping Haiti's capital once again as gang control spreads deeper into Port-au-Prince. Armed groups are reportedly taking over new zones by the day, forcing more families to flee their homes and fueling an already dire food crisis. In the middle of the chaos, protesters are demanding stronger leadership, accusing the transitional government of failing to restore order. Jamaica's police commissioner is making it clear officers have no legal right to demand your phone password during a stop. Dr. Kevin Blake says only a court order can grant access to someone's private device, and anything outside that process is against the law. The statement follows growing concern over reports that police have been pressuring citizens, some even minors, to hand over passwords on the spot. But while the message was made public, some people are questioning whether that same warning is being delivered internally. Are officers actually being told to stop? That question is still lingering. Jamaica is expanding its surveillance reach with a brand new monitoring center based at the Olympic Gardens police station. It's part of the Jamaica Eye program, which will see thousands of cameras installed across the island in the next few years.
When we say we're doing Jamaica Eye, it's not just the cameras on the pole. It is an entire ecosystem that essentially says that for Olympic Way, if you commit an act on Olympic Way, the probability of you being caught is high 90s, and that's what we want.
The initiative is already being rolled out in key areas, and the new system is designed to create full time eyes on the ground, combining technology and strategy to better track what's happening in real time. President Dr. Ifran Ali has handed over 5,000 high tech body cameras to the Guyana police force, marking one of the largest digital upgrades in the country's law enforcement history. The waterproof, dustproof cameras come with 256 gigabytes of storage and can operate for up to 10 hours, giving officers full shift coverage in the field. They'll also be linked in real time to Guyana's national security network through LTE, Wi Fi, and 4G connections, meaning footage can be transmitted on the spot. President Ali says the move is designed to boost accountability, promote transparency, and build stronger public trust. Anguilla's new premier, Cora Richardson Hodge, delivered her first major address inside the House of Assembly just weeks after making history. In that speech, she outlined a bold vision for the island centered on integrity, community, upliftment, and regional leadership. Richardson Hodge promised a government built on trust, transparency, and action, not just words. She called for a united front across political lines to tackle pressing challenges like economic recovery, education, and sustainable development. Since then, she's been putting those words into motion, taking Anguilla's voice to regional tables like the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States and using national holidays like Workers' Day, highlighting the vital role of how everyday citizen is shaping the island's future. Big changes are underway for students in Guyana. The University of Guyana has officially removed tuition fees for all of its programs, making education free for both new and returning students. The policy took effect at the start of the year and applies to every level of study, from diplomas to postgraduate degrees. It's part of a wider effort to make education more accessible as the country looks to train and prepare more professionals for its growing economy. Enrollment for the upcoming academic year is still open, with students encouraged to apply before the mid May deadline. There's a fresh wave of momentum in Trinidad's energy sector. EOG Resources has struck oil off the island's southeast coast, marking a rare offshore oil discovery in a region known mostly for gas. The find was made in Beryl Field, located in the TSP Deep area, and early reports point to a strong reserve of high quality crude. The location sits near existing infrastructure, which could mean a faster path to production. With global markets shifting and energy demand evolving, this discovery could open new doors for Trinidad's oil output and long term economic strategy. Speaking of Trinidad's energy sector, the country plans to shift its energy strategy after plans to source gas from Venezuela Dragon Field fell through. Now the Twin Island Republic is turning to its Caribbean neighbors, Guyana, Grenada, and Suriname, in hopes of securing new energy partnerships. With Guyana's booming oil sector and Grenada exploring its own offshore potential, regional collaboration could bring fresh momentum to Trinidad's liquefied natural gas and petrochemical industries. Trinidad and Tobago new government says it's walking into a financial storm, with the country running a cash deficit of over 4.4 billion TT dollars in April alone. Government revenue totaled about $3.95 billion while spending reached $5.28 billion, leaving a shortfall of more than $1.3 billion. That gap was covered using the central bank's overdraft facility, which now holds just $2.74 billion heading into May. And with another 500 million in unpaid checks still in the system, the projected shortfall for this month could grow even larger. Government leaders urgent financial decisions will be needed to steady the country's cash flow. Trinidad and Tobago's new prime minister is operating from her private home after reports surfaced that her official residence and office are not fit for use. Mold, a flooded basement, and broken security scanners are among the issues plaguing both Whitehall and the diplomatic center, forcing Kamala Prasad Bisesa to work out of her house in Philippines. But now former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is pushing back. He posted a video online showing the condition he says he left the resident in, defending the state of the property when his administration left office. With no clear timeline for repairs, cabinet meetings and day-to-day business are continuing from the Prime Minister's private residence. Cuba is turning to Russia for a financial lifeline, securing $1 billion investment aimed at easing its economic crisis. President Miguel Diaz Canel made the announcement during his visit to Moscow, where he reinforced Cuba's long-standing ties with the Kremlin. The funds are expected to support critical sectors like energy, agriculture, and infrastructure as the island struggles with shortages and downturn in tourism. Officials say this partnership is about more than money. It's a signal of growing cooperation between two nations facing mounting pressure from the West. The Caribbean heat isn't just in the weather, it's in the stars making waves worldwide. Rihanna, our unapologetic Bajan queen, had jaws dropping at the Met Gala as she debuted baby number three. Dressed like royalty and glowing with confidence, she reminded the world that motherhood and fashion can slay side by side. Over in the music scene, Shaggy is flipping the script. The Mr. Bombastic we know is now going symphonic, joining forces with a US orchestra to remix his reggae roots into a classy new sound. Talk about evolution. And there's no slowing down for Sean Paul. The dancehall hit maker is turning up the summer heat with his Good Vibes Only tour. Teaming up with hip hop heavyweights, he's bringing Caribbean energy to big stages as usual and keeping it 100 all the way. From runways to rhythms, the islands are running things, period. The one and only Buju Banton is making history at the 2025 BET Experience. For the first time ever, this reggae icon is headlining the event in Los Angeles on June 5th. Get ready to see Would You Light Up the Stage. Vibes Cartel has broken new ground by becoming the first Jamaican artist to feature in GQ's 10 Essentials segment. In the video, Cartel reveals the items that he considers essential to his life, starting with his Bible. He emphasizes the Bible's significance as not just a spiritual guide but a foundational part of his life. Along with his Bible, Cartel highlights items like his favorite luxury watches, a cologne he holds dear, and other personal essentials that reflect his style and success. His appearance in GQ further cements his influence, marking a significant moment for Jamaican artists on the international stage. Before we end today's newscast, we want to take a moment to acknowledge the strength and love of all mothers. Your resilience and care are unmatched, and you carry so much for your families and communities. We hope this week brings you love and recognition you truly deserve. Happy Mother's Day. That's it for this week's edition of KGN Caribbean News. I'm Karisha Graham. See you next week right here where vibes meets truth and every island will eventually get the spotlight.